So many liberals think they've moved on from God, but their values are still basically Christian. What are you on about? I'm not religious. Neither am I. But just tell me the values held by liberal Westerners like us. Okay, equality and human rights. All humans are created in God's image, Genesis. Fine, we should support the poor and oppressed. The first shall be last and the last shall be first, Matthew. Anti-racism. There's no difference between Greek or Jew, St. Paul. And remember, Martin Luther King quoted Exodus when he talks about the promised land. Fine, multiculturalism, the Good Samaritan, women's rights. Surely you can't argue that from Christianity. True, Christianity has been used to oppress women for centuries, but you've got to remember how bad things were before. To an ancient Greek or Roman, a man could basically do what he wanted to a woman in his household. It was all about power, whereas the church taught men sexual self-restraint, and the Bible's message of liberating the oppressed was used by early feminists. Okay, what about romantic love? That's not very Christian. Actually, it is. The medieval church outlawed forced marriage and banned adultery and divorce, which enshrined our modern idea of two people choosing to dedicate themselves to each other for life. I'm not buying this. What about all the ways Christians have contradicted these values, like slavery or colonialism? Well, obviously not all Christians are good Christians. But remember, slavery and empire were simple facts of life throughout human history. But they became unacceptable in the West because of Christian movements. Think William Wilberforce or Morel in the Congo. But aren't these just common sense values that any good society would have? No, and the reason you take for granted they're good is because of your Christian worldview. To a Roman, the idea that the poor should be venerated would be absurd. The Greeks saw foreigners as barbarians, fit for slavery. Now, it's true Christianity didn't invent all our morals, some predate it, but it's the vehicle that brought them to us. Okay, but non-Christian countries today have similar values to us, don't they? Yeah, some, but many don't. And even if non-Christian countries do share our values, the point is, in the West, it's Christianity that got us here. Do you really think it's a coincidence that wokeness is most prevalent in societies that worship a poor man who suffered the death of a slave at the hands of a mighty empire? Well, Christianity's been declining in the West for decades, so if that's all true, what's going to happen to our values when it's gone?